Hello, Stitchers. Welcome to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. I'm your host, Lisa Woolfork. I'm a fourth-generation sewing enthusiast with more than 20 years of sewing experience. I am looking forward to today's conversation, so sit back, relax, and get ready to get your stitch together. Hey friends, hey, it's Lisa from Black Women Stitch and the Stitch Please podcast, and I am back with a second episode with Deborah Butera. You might remember Deborah from last episode, where she was talking about how an unexpected illness led her to powerlifting, but also the connection between powerlifting and craft. And that's what we talked about in the previous episode. So go back and listen to that one. But for this one, we're going to be heading into more of her creative practice and how her own need to find Black fiber artists led her to create a series with unanticipated results. Let's check it out. I had not thought about those two things going together, but look, they came together in your life. And I am so grateful for that. Now, could you tell us what was the journey from powerlifting to Unraveled Studios? How do we get from, okay, I'm starting to feel better, I'm putting in some work, I'm seeing some results, I've learned how to pick up a crochet hook, now I can, I can power lift this particular thing, or I can squat these particular weights, or all the different competitions that happen in powerlifting. How did you get from there to Unraveled Studios, which is such a beautiful project?
Yes. I think powerlifting, because it's such, like I said, it's such a particular sport that you can't just go and do, because you need to make sure that all the other variables are as good. As much as you can control them, you should control them to get the result you want.
Yes.
That kind of, it changed the way I see life in general. And because when I was powerlifting, I was also documenting it. I documented on another page. And I was filming myself. And after filming, because you have to do that if you have a coach. You have to film yourself and send it to them. And I was like, I have all these videos. Why don't I also make an Instagram page?
Oh, that's fantastic. So like the coach, you send the coach the video of you doing the work, and then they can evaluate your form and say, and it can also, they can probably give you feedback. And well, tell me, how did it work? When you sent the video to the coach, what did they say?
So basically what it would be is the coach would set up a program for you.
Yes.
And then every day of the program, say you have 4 days a week, you would film the main lifts or lifts you have some questions about, and then send them to them. They would be like, okay, I think your form is a little bit weird in the middle of your squat, because everything gets broken down to the minimal thing, can be like,
oh my goodness.
You're kind of going in the upward movement of your squat. You're kind of leaning forward, and that's tilting you off balance. Maybe you should try more this, or your ascent is a little bit too fast, or you're losing course. Like, it would be like the little things. And
that's
every
amazing.
single time you would get better and better at understanding not only what works for your body, but also know what your coach would be looking at, and that's how you would kind of work together, basically.
Yes. And now tell me about how that might work in fiber arts as well, because of course you might not have a coach, but you have some particular standard, or I want to try this, or how did you make that? What would that bridge look like?
I think for me is generally I would look at it as in progression, because if you look at, for example, you are a powerlifter, you are going to start a program, you want to start it would be called a training block. It would be 4 weeks. And at the end of those 4 weeks, you want to be able to squat, say, 100 kilos. So you're going to start the first week. You're not going to start with 100 kilos. That's going to be too heavy.
Too much?
Too much. You might start with 80. Then you go to 85. You go to 90. And if you think 90 is going well, you're going to try 100 kilos at the end of the week.
Okay.
I would always look at that as in, what is the kind of progress I want to do? For example, in my knitting, I see a pattern. I think this pattern is really cool, but it might have, let's say, 6 techniques that I've never done before. And I might be very intimidated by. So instead of thinking, I'm immediately going to go for that, which is totally fine.
Of course.
But I know sometimes for myself, I need little wins to feel good about going for the bigger win at the end. So I'll try something that has maybe 2 or 3 of the techniques that's going to be in the bigger project at the end. So I'll feel comfortable to try the bigger one at the end of the year. For example, now I have a goal of designing my own cable sweater, but I'm going to do a mixed cable sweater pattern first before attempting to design one. Because for me, that feels like too big of a jump to do.
Okay.
That's jumping week 100 kilos. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go for a pattern that has mixed cables, that kind of has, it doesn't need to be completely the same, but a few of the techniques that I'm probably going to need to know or use or be familiar with to be able to attempt the bigger goal at the end. So that's how I look at it as in comparing the two.
I think that's just absolutely fantastic. And I'm wondering if you could tell us about what do you see as one of the goals of your studio practice? Calling it Unraveled Studios. Yeah. Where did the name come from? How did you decide to call it Unraveled Studios?
So for me, when I was looking for a name, I remember looking for it and immediately having the Unraveled come up, as I wanted to have it something with unraveling. Because I remember in the beginning of me learning to knit, trying to learn how to knit, it was really hard for me. I couldn't get it down. I don't know why. My brain it didn't make sense. So I had to do a lot of unraveling in the beginning, and I was getting frustrated about it. But then, especially now, I don't really usually have a problem with unraveling my work because it's just part of the process. And especially if I know that I'm going to regret if I continue in a design and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to leave it in because it's frustrating me. And I know if I finish it, I'm going to think about, oh, remember this part right here where you decided to leave it because you didn't want to unravel it. Now, I would rather catch it as early as I can, unravel the part that I know that this is not what I want, and keep going so that not only did I enjoy and learn in the process, I can also enjoy the finished project or object that I created. And I just see it as so much of the process of you making something that I think that's why I decided to do Unraveled, to call myself Unraveled Studios, because it's just such a big part of creating. And that's specifically about knitting, but you seam rip something when you're sewing something and it's wrong all the time, and it's part of the process. It's just part of the process of creating. You unravel things and then you get back to where you were, or you just decide to, oh, maybe it's just not for me. It's okay, but it's just part of the process.
I love that definition. And I love that approach. The idea that to unravel something is not a punishment. It is part of the process. It is part of, that unsewing is also a part of sewing. And that we might not enjoy the unsewing process as much as we do the sewing process. But you do need both. There is a bit of both in all of it. And I really appreciate how by calling your studio Unraveled is that you were inviting us to slow down, and you're inviting us to say, this is not a race, it's a sweater. We are not trying to be the world's fastest knitters. We are trying to create something that we can love and be proud of. And for you, unraveling is part of that. Like if there's an error up here, I don't want to be thinking about it all the time. I can take the time to take it apart and start over. I wanted to spend some time talking about the series that you did for Black History Month in 2026. This was a fantastic series where you went through and every single day highlighted some amazing Black artists and creatives. Lorna Hamilton Brown, Nick Cave, Bisa Butler. These are the folks I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You just did, it was like every single day. I love that series. And one of the great things, you all, is that you can go back right now, go back to Unraveled Studios, go back to her YouTube channel, go back to Instagram, and you can see right now these things that she did. And it really is a whole education. Tell me about the series. How did you come up with the idea, and what kind of research did you do in order to put this together? Because it was really, really wonderful.
How did it start? I would say last year. I made a YouTube video for Black History Month where I just highlighted a few of the fiber artists that I was watching, that I was inspired by. And I really liked making that, not only to have a place, I would say, on the internet where you could go, and if you type in Black fiber artists, you immediately have a list of people to follow. But maybe selfishly, I always think about myself when I'm making things. And when I started, I was always looking for other Black fiber artists.
Yes.
And it was, I wouldn't say it was really hard, but it took a time for my algorithms to show me the things I wanted to see. And I think that if I just make one video that immediately says a bunch of names on different platforms you can immediately go to, it's easier for you to follow a bunch of people, and then your For You page and your algorithm to be like, okay, that's what you want to see, we're going to show more of it. So I did that last year. And then for this year, I was thinking, what do I want to do for Black History Month? I want to do something. And I just started. The goal in the beginning of February was not to do every single day. It wasn't.
Really?
It really wasn't. I'm really serious.
What was the original goal?
The original goal was to do a few of the people I follow and that I watch and I really like. I'll just do, when I have time, I'll do a video about it. And I hope to get a few in this month. But there's no we need to do this every day. That was not how it started.
Let's just see what happens. You know, I'll do one, I'll do two, I'll do three, and maybe not more than that. You know, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
So how did you go from I just do one or two to never mind, I'll do 28.
After doing so, I did the first video about Ronti Studios, who is an incredible pattern designer, knitwear pattern designer. And the process of doing that video as well, I really enjoyed it. I just really enjoyed thinking about how the structure of doing the videos and finding the pictures and reading the interviews that the fiber artists had done. And just, making that first video to me was really fun. And I honestly was not expecting the reach and reaction to that video. I wasn't expecting it. So that's why I think I maybe didn't plan on doing a whole month, is because I just thought I'm just going to do a few, maybe 100 people really like it. And then especially the fiber artist likes it. That was really the most important thing for me. The goal is that they know they receive their internet flowers and they know people appreciate them. That was also very, very important to me. So I was thinking at least they will see it and they will know that all the work they're doing is appreciated and they are seen, and that's that.
Exactly. Hey friends, it's Lisa from Black Women Stitch and the Stitch Please podcast. Our Patreon community is growing and we'd love to have you in it. We recently updated our membership tiers and now it's easier than ever to support the work of Black Women Stitch while getting exclusive perks just for you. You'll find full-length talks, behind-the-scenes updates, bonus episodes, and access to videos from the podcast and beyond. Your support helps fund the podcast, pay our team, and keep this movement going strong. Every dollar truly makes a difference. So if you've been thinking about joining, now is the perfect time. Black organizations face increasing funding challenges. Community support closes that gap. Head to our Patreon community and choose the tier that feels right for you. And thank you. So what
Yeah.
happened then? So what happened? So you make the first couple of videos and you're like, you know
And
what? I'm going to go take a nap or I'm going to go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go work on that sweater I said I was going to unravel. I'm going to get on the rest of my life. But then what
yeah.
happened?
So it had way more reach and reaction, not even way more reach, but I would say more reactions to it than I was expecting. That people
Lovely.
were sending me messages and I was reading the comments, and especially getting a message from the designer themselves being like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting it. And I thank you so much. That just did something in my brain and made me realize that, okay, I at least have to do it for a week. So I at least have to do the next few days, because there are other fiber artists that I follow that I want to talk about and that I really feel like have contributed to me being where I am right now. Probably other people haven't heard about them, and I really think
Right.
you should watch them, their YouTube channel, their patterns, anything. So I'll just do a week. That's what I thought. Again, this was very much until the first week, I did not have a concrete plan on how I was going to do it all. And
Wow.
after the first week, I was like, okay, we need to put down a list. We need to prepare videos in advance, so we only have to edit the day of. We need to do research moments so we
Oh
have
my
time. Like,
gosh.
that's when I really started to get everything down in advance, so I didn't have to scramble the day of and
Oh my
do all
gosh.
of this work the day of. Yeah.
Well, it looked like a beautiful and cohesive series. And
Thank
you
you.
know what? I'm just going to be 100% honest. After I started watching the series and following the series, I was like, I really want to interview this woman. I think this is a really great idea. You know, she's building an archive. I have been inspired by this. There's some people that I got to meet. Well, look, she got Bisa Butler up there. Bisa was the 200th guest on the Stitch Please podcast. So here's some more people I could interview. It's like, oh yeah, I've been wanting to talk to Natasha, or I've been wanting to do this, or yeah, and Lorna said that we could talk one day when she has time. So like for me, you were helping me with my research because you did all this beautiful pre-work, and then I saw my name on there, y'all. She did me. She interviewed. She had a one about me. And when I tell you, I thought my Instagram was broke. I thought, how am I looking at a video of myself in this series that I've been watching? How did this? I'm telling you, one solid minute, 60 entire seconds were spent me just staring at my phone, going, where did this come from and how? I don't understand. And I was like, oh, wait, she's talking about me. So the excitement that people felt, that some of the fiber artists that you interviewed felt, was definitely something that I felt. It definitely felt very affirming. It felt like, okay, what I'm doing is making an impact out in the world. And I hope that you see that too, because that is what you have done. That is what your series has done. What are some of the looking back on it now, what were some of the favorite things about the series in terms of some of the reactions? You were saying that you got like messages from people, you've got lots of great comments. Are there any comments, for example, that you might remember that stood out to you that made you feel like, you know what, this was worth doing it for more than 3 days?
Yeah. I think all of the comments definitely were like worth it. Especially, I really liked that people didn't know it was coming, that it was always a surprise.
Yes.
I really liked feeling like it was like a, hey, it's about you.
Yes.
Like
yes.
a surprise feeling, which made it a little bit harder for me because not everybody had a website. So I really had to go on YouTube interviews, look at transcriptions, and be like, oh, this is what they said. Like sometimes it was very much me digging to find the information. So
And
I really
thank you for that. Thank you. Because again, you have lifted up people who might not be easy to find organically through social media or through the internet. So now you have created something for someone else to point to. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just thought
no.
your research is very much appreciated.
Thank you. And then what I also really liked is there are some people there that I felt like they had been putting out so much content, and they had been working on everything for a certain amount of time, and I would appreciate them for like afar. I would follow them and subscribe and everything, but I never felt like they got a push. And I was like, but
Oh,
I have this platform. I guess I can talk about them, and I can spotlight them, and tell them,
yes.
like, instead of just messaging them and telling them you're doing a good job, actually being like, hey guys, this person is really cool. I really like their projects. I really like what they're making. You should definitely go look at their work. Um, so that really felt really nice. And also some people sending me people that they have discovered that I didn't talk about. They were like, hey, now this person came up on my For You page. I think you might really like them. There are a few people that I followed that way as well. So
Oh,
it just felt like a little bit of like a everything was coming together, and
yes.
I was maybe inspiring some people, but people were also
Absolutely.
inspiring me. So that was really, yeah, that was really nice.
It's an absolutely beautiful project. It was a beautiful project, a beautiful tribute, and it is now an archive. And you said the word selfish earlier, and I would invite you to reconsider that. You said, "Oh, it felt a bit selfish because when I was starting, I couldn't find any Black fiber artists." I think you built what you needed,
Mm,
and you found out that other people needed it too.
mhm,
And this is something that happens to a lot of Black creatives. I think especially Black archivists, people who are interested in creating trails, paper
mhm,
trails for people
mhm,
to follow,
mhm,
people who want to uplift our history before it is erased,
mhm,
people who say, hey, you do not have an excuse to say that you only follow white knitters.
mm,
There is no excuse for that
mm,
because there are folks who have done the work to make that not possible. And you are one of those. And I think it is just such a beautiful gift that continues to give, and I want to be the one to thank you again for this because it was absolutely beautiful. I cannot believe that we are at the end of our time. I believe this is going to be a two-part episode. It absolutely is. But I want to thank you so much for coming through and talking with us today. Now, I'm going to ask you the question that we ask everyone as we
yeah.
get to the end of our time here. And it is this: the slogan of the Stitch Please podcast is that we will help you get your stitch together.
Mhm.
Deborah Butera of
Yes.
Unraveled Studios, what advice do you have for our listeners today to help us get our stitch together?
Yes. I have been thinking about it. It might be a little bit controversial,
Go
but
for
I'm
it.
speaking into the interest of the fiber artist, the maker, the sewist, the creator, I guess.
Yes.
You definitely do not need to make something for other people. You can make things only for yourself, and you don't even have to justify it. It's fine. You don't have to make gifts for people. You really, really don't. You don't have, especially don't have to stress yourself out over it. Um, I really think, especially if it's seen as a practice for yourself, if it's something you do for your well being, if making things for other people does not aid towards that, you really don't have to do it. And if they question you about it, tell them that I said that you don't have to do it, put that on me. It's totally fine. But I'm really passionate about that because every year there's the same, especially around Christmas, New Year's, you get this surge of people like, these are all the gifts I'm making for. And it's, or people are like, oh, this person did not react the way I wanted to my hand knit gift
Oh
that I
my
spend 100
gosh.
hours on. If you feel an itch in your body that's like, I actually don't really want to do it, don't do it. If you are excited about it, you want to do it, of course. I've made things for other people, I was 100% excited about it, then go. But if you have the slightest feeling of like, I don't think I really want to, don't do it. It's not worth it. Trust me, it really isn't.
That is gorgeous advice, timeless advice. Absolutely. Deborah, tell us where we can find you on the socials and how can we find you on the socials?
Yes, so I am Unraveled Studios on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everything social media. That is where you can find me weekly on YouTube, long form, and on short form, I pop in 3 times a week, I think, with a little video.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah. This has been a fantastic conversation. I am so excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me to be on this podcast. It's truly, truly an honor. I really appreciate your work as well, Lisa, again. And it was great talking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Deborah.
You've been listening to Stitch Please, the official podcast of Black Women Stitch, the sewing group where Black Lives Matter. We appreciate you joining us this week and every week for stories that center Black women, girls, and femmes in sewing. We invite you to join the Black Women Stitch Patreon community with giving levels beginning at $5 a month. Your contributions help us bring the Stitch Please podcast to you every week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, and come back next week and we'll help you get your stitch together.